All right, let's head straight to England, ladies and gentlemen. Let's head straight to England. Premier League action. Premier League action did return for the first time in a space of 2 weeks. Remember, due to the fact that FA Cup took place last weekend, right? So now we were back in the Premier League, in the Barclays Premier League, for a Friday night action. You know, between Burnley and Luton Town at Turf Moor, right? So let's get straight into it, right? Burnley won, Luton Town won, okay? So as we get straight into this game, Burnley looks set to claim a rare victory, you know, after a dogged defensive performance following Switzerland forward ZEKI AMDOUNI's 36-minute deflected finish at a raucous Turf Moor, right? Although Carlton Morris headed the Hatters level in the closing moments, right? As there was a lengthy check by VAR after Elijah Adebayo appeared to nudge the Burnley goalkeeper James Trafford, as Morris did get the equalizer. You understand? Although surprisingly, the goal was allowed to stand, and it brought so much outrage amongst the Turf Moor faithful. So much outrage, including from Burnley manager Vincent Kompany. Let's keep going, right? Let's just get straight into it. What led to all of this drama, right? And what this means, the fact that now the result finished as a 1-1 draw, this result now leaves Burnley, you know, who have played a game more than the teams around them, in deep trouble. So because Burnley are now 4 points from safety, Luton remain in the relegation zone, despite the fact that they are level on points. They are level on 16 points with 17th placed Everton. You understand? And Luton now, you know, we all know what Luton is capable of, what they've shown us, what they've displayed this season. You know, because Luton have developed a habit of scoring late goals in their first season in the Premier League, right? You know, remember, as we go back, they trailed Nottingham Forest by 2-0 before securing a point after 2 goals in the final 7 minutes. While the Hatters, you know, went on to defeat Crystal Palace with an 83rd minute winner on November the 25th last year, you know, in 2023. And this equalizer by Carlton Morris, the England forward, you know, is the 12th time that, you know, Luton Town have been able to score in the 80th minute or later. You understand? Now they've netted 12 goals from a period of 80 minutes all the way going into stoppage time. So which is incredible, to say the least, because now it's their maiden season in the Premier League. And unsurprisingly, you know, Rob Edwards was the happier of the two managers, right, afterwards. Despite creating 14 attempts, Luton, you know, they looked set to actually like having nothing to show for their display, for their performance after being frustrated by Trafford. You know, in the Burnley goal, he made some stellar saves, you know, denying Ross Barkley several times and also denying Alfie Doughty. You understand? And the Burnley keeper had comfortably collected everything Luton had thrown at him. You know, although late in the game, you know, he should have had Alfie Doughty's cross under control, but, you know, Adebayo blocked his path. I don't think that was literally a foul. I just think that was like, you know, body weight. You know, Adebayo, the striker, used his body very well, right? And as a result of that, that left an open goal for Carlton Morris to score his 4th league goal of the season and actually spark some, you know, angry, you know, some very, you know, like scenes of disgust around Turf Moor. You get what I'm saying? Because now, you know, the Burnley supporters were livid. They were outrageous. They were so angry, you know, after that goal was scored, because it would have been a very important 3 points for them. It would have been a very crucial 3 points. It could have been a turning point in their season currently. And what's surprising is that, you know, both goal scorers, ZEKI AMDOUNI as well as Carlton Morris, now they both scored their 4th league goals of the Premier League season in 20 games. Both of them. They've played 20 games so far this season, and both of them scored their 4th league goals of the season. And what's also, their stats are just exactly the same, because both of them have been involved, have 5 goal contributions in the Premier League this season in 20 appearances. You know, remember, Carlton Morris has got 4 goals, 4 league goals this season, including an assist, as well as for ZEKI AMDOUNI, right? He also has got 4 Premier League goals, including 1 assist in 20 Premier League games. So it's just ironic. It's just there's no contradiction whatsoever. But it was a great game of Premier League football, to say the least, even though it was the unfashionable teams that were, you know, taking center stage at Turf Moor, right? Let me check a bit. Latest news, you know, Chelsea forward David Dacho Fofana has now joined Premier League side Burnley on loan until the end of the season. Remember, Fofana spent the first half of the campaign at Union Berlin and made 17 appearances, 4 of which came in the UEFA Champions League. The 21-year-old made his mark in Europe as he scored for Union away at Napoli. You know, he also featured at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid. And now Fofana moved to the Stamford Bridge. Remember, Fofana joined Chelsea in January 2023 last year from Norwegian side Molde. Unfortunately for him, he did miss out on selection for the African Cup of Nations at Cote d'Ivoire. You know, he is an Ivorian. Unfortunately, he did miss out for selection, but there's no doubt that he will play an important role at national team level as well as at club level. Hopefully, he can turn Burnley's fortunes around and actually be a perfect strike partner for the South African striker Lyle Foster up front. Right. In the West London derby at the Stamford Bridge, Chelsea did claim all the bragging rights in the West London derby, doing a double over their cross-town rivals, Fulham, at Stamford Bridge. So basically, it was Cole Palmer's first half penalty that gave Chelsea a narrow win over West London rivals Fulham at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League, right? So Cole Palmer, what a man, you know, he's been on spectacular, immense form this season. So Cole Palmer, remember, he has scored 5 penalties this season, more than any other player in the Premier League this season, right? And we saw how the goal actually came. Okay, so Palmer's reverse pass set up Raheem Sterling, who was caught by Issa Diop inside the penalty area. And there was no need for Issa Diop to actually make that challenge, to say the least. There was just no need for him to actually make that challenge. You know, but, you know, clever play, you know, by Raheem Sterling, who has actually improved so much on his game. You know, since his Liverpool days, he has really improved, and we've noticed some gradual improvement from Raheem Sterling. He's more clever in his approach. He's more direct. He's actually more confident when he has the ball. His decision making sometimes has also improved, and we saw that, you know, that was just clever from Raheem Sterling to actually win his team a much needed penalty. And from 12 yards out, Palmer dispatched the spot kick, sending Fulham goalkeeper Bernard Leno the wrong way to net his 9th goal since joining the Blues in August. Well, despite that, you know, Chelsea did have a couple of opportunities, right? You know, as well as we saw with Conor Gallagher, he almost added a late second when he sweetly struck effort using the outside of his boot. I mean, that was a nice effort. He struck it so well, you know, using the outside of his boot. Unfortunately for Conor Gallagher, it just cannoned off the far post, right? But then, you know, Chelsea, you know, kept Fulham's, you know, at arm's length, you know, and they held on for their 3rd consecutive victory to jump on to 9th in the table, level on points with Brighton, who are in 8th with 31 points. The visitors, however, they stay in 13th position, you know, having lost 4 of their past 5 matches, unfortunately. So victory meant, you know, for Mauricio Pochettino's side, won a 4th home league match in a row. You know, so this is 4 consecutive home victories for Chelsea for the first time since July 2020, right? And then after only winning just 12 of their 43 Premier League games in 2023, the fewest they've recorded in a calendar year since 1995. Chelsea's 2024 campaign has got off to the perfect start, right? As they play Middlesbrough in the semi-final second leg on the 23rd of January at Stamford Bridge, as they trail by a 0-0. Unfortunately, in that game, they were very wasteful, to say the least. It's just a shock that even Middlesbrough, have the upper hand against the Blues coming into the second leg, because Chelsea were very wasteful in that game. But then we know the Blues, they will do something. They will do what the Blues does best, which is to actually make a comeback and actually go through to the final of the Carabao Cup. This is basically, an opportunity for Chelsea to actually clinch some silverware, which will obviously guarantee them a place in Europe next season. And then, on the side of Fulham, their West London rivals, Fulham, their poor away run now continues. It persists, because now the Cottagers have now lost their past 5 league games, on the road. I remember they were also beaten in midweek against Liverpool in the, in the Carabao Cup first leg. But yeah, it just says a lot about Marco Silva's side. Their record on the road has been very poor, has been dismal, and we just hope to see some improvement from Marco Silva. Perhaps maybe going to the January window, make some few recruits to actually, boost their squad, to actually get some more depth, you understand, get some more quality in terms of actually like turning around their season. As well as currently, remember, they still have to play Liverpool at home in the second leg of the Carabao Cup. So, Fulham could be fancying their chances of actually clinching some silverware this season, but it will really take a lot for them because currently they trail by 2-1. But for the fact that they took the lead in that game, that could give them, some sense of optimism of saying, they can cause a particular upset. Remember that game that they played against Liverpool at Anfield not so long ago? What a game that was, So they haven't really played all too badly against Liverpool. They've actually had great games against Liverpool this season in the league as well as in the cup. Unfortunately, they just fell short, because of lapse of concentration and actually not being able to, be defensively organized until the 90th minute, until the final whistle. So hopefully we will see improvement from Marco Silva's men and co.